that hot mess that they air in the mornings called The View had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side. And then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern with them.
I think the problem with that show is that show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in. You know, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her. And, you know, they did that with Megyn.
You might rethink everything if you assumed The View ruled daytime drama, because Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly teamed up and delivered a blow so powerful it left one of the hosts visibly unsettled. It was a moment that grabbed everyone's attention, especially for those who believed the show stood beyond challenge. Now get ready for a surprising jolt as we explore how these two shook the so-called queens of daytime television right off their pedestal, creating a buzz that no one saw coming.
Nothing
Just
there.
go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there. Sometimes comics do that.
Yeah, and the other question is then, is that representative of a big constituency? I think probably yes.
Well, a lot of
MSNBC
people,
viewers are probably also thinking,
I don't even think the MSNBC viewers, I think they're a little bit more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
This is like low information, blue no matter who, like older housewives who are mad at the world. That's the appeal that Whoopi Goldberg.
The show begins with its usual circus-like energy, and the entire scene unravels from there. 5 grown hosts are talking over one another in a whirlwind of noise, each trying to be heard. Joy Beher is already wrestling with her 15th moral puzzle of the morning, while Whoopi looks as if she's quietly solving secret equations on a scrap of paper. Meanwhile, Sunny Hostin appears to be questioning the rules of the universe itself. Hardly anyone notices what anyone else is saying. The crowd cheers whenever a confusing comment about fairness or strength pops up, and the interruptions never stop. If pure disorder ever earned its own spot on television, this would be the moment.
Trump will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, yay, on January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed. If you ask them, as we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View.
January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, you know, like World War II, things that happened, you know, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust.
In the middle of all that wild chatter, someone actually tries to share a genuine idea, but it's quickly swallowed by dramatic reactions, scattered voices, and Ana Navarro's perfectly timed, unforgettable glare. At that point, it isn't really a discussion at all. It feels more like a shared counseling session pretending to be a talk show. Under the bright studio lights, the space turns into a polished bubble where every thought bounces around, and a quiet wave of "we know best" seems to drift from the screen with every
in fairness, though, I mean, The View has to be, you know, if you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Hostin's
You think it's deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on, for sure. I don't think Sunny's dumb. But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person, and what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and you like it was totally baked and half baked, and you went on stage with it and just couldn't.
Comment. Joe Rogan, known for catching odd claims during his podcast talks, steps into the moment calmly rather than raising his voice. He jokes that after everything he's experienced, he can recognize when something doesn't make sense. This is the same person who has chatted with astronauts, monks, and even guests with extremely unusual ideas about the world. Taking in the scene before him, He simply shakes his head and says, "I can't believe this is actually happening," clearly amazed by what he's witnessing.
She's Ana Navarro in your wildest imagination. You could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to dominate in whatever space.
Megyn Kelly steps forward with sharp confidence, her arrival carrying the focus of someone who knows exactly what she's doing. She's the same journalist the major networks struggled to keep up with. Fox found her too quick on her feet, and NBC discovered she wasn't afraid to ask the questions others avoided. Now, her list of examples from daytime TV slip-ups reads like a collection of notes she's gathered. Over years of watching and analyzing, she doesn't just point out problems, she slices through exaggeration and confusion with practiced precision, turning each moment into a thoughtful highlight on her podcast. Together, Rogan and Kelly make a team that would make any public relations group nervous. Rogan calmly takes apart each argument while Joy Behar is distracted trying to spell authoritarian, explaining how little research seems to go into some of the loudest claims on the show. Laughing, he says, "I can't believe this gets airtime," instantly comparing the moment to an improvised skit at a quiet retreat. Meanwhile, Kelly moves through the contradictions like she's exploring a gallery of media mix-ups, lifting an eyebrow and trimming the strength of each argument with ease. In this pairing, Rogan becomes the hammer of simple logic, while Kelly acts as the precise tool that cuts through confusion, exaggerated reactions, and whatever Ana Navarro believes is the strongest point in the discussion. All the while, Whoopi Goldberg blinks as if she's trying to send a secret message, adding yet another layer to the already busy atmosphere.
Hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections. 4 legal notes. We only have 3 of them on camera, but look at this.
I have another legal note.
My God.
Both Trump and Pam Bondi have denied allegations of a quid pro quo. I have a legal note.
Do you want to take this one, Joy, or are you good?
Megyn has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
That's true.
Also, another legal note. Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. He has denied any wrongdoing.
Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern.
For years, many believed the hosts were untouchable, living inside a comfortable media bubble where sounding extra confident and remembering past political eras seemed to be all that was required. But the moment Rogan and Kelly stepped forward and pointed out the more puzzling moments without waiting for approval from big media outlets, that bubble finally thinned. Awards and polite applause from weekend brunch fans don't sway them, and they don't pretend loud voices equal strong ideas. Because of that, The View never stood much of a chance once reason, clear information, and a playful spark of irony entered the picture. It was like showing up to a serious match with a tiny noisemaker. And Rogan and Kelly didn't just take over the moment, they reset the entire rhythm of the discussion. The instant the show struck a match on a stage already filled with heated opinions, the spark flew, creating a kind of uproar unusual even for a program that treats facts like optional toppings. This time, their focus landed on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They rolled their eyes as if asked to explain the simplest part of civics, brushed off his points, and dismissed his views without even a quick look into them. Their synchronized disapproval was impressive in timing, yet it didn't accomplish anything meaningful.
Because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
You know, that's what it was. I think the other ones, there's a couple of the other ones, don't have to name any names, who are just very dull-minded. But I think Sunny's not one of them. I think she's smart, but captured.
Sure, I think she came into it with an agenda.
Of course.
You know.
They do everything with it.
The chaos of daytime television reached a new peak as 5 seasoned hosts shouted over one another in a spectacle that felt more like group therapy than a conversation. Joy Behar wrestled with her 15th moral crisis of the morning, Whoopi Goldberg appeared lost in secret calculations, and Sunny Hostin challenged the laws of physics, all while the audience applauded at random interruptions. Amid this storm, Ana Navarro's perfectly timed side-eye and exaggerated gasps swallowed any sincere attempt at reason. Enter Joe Rogan, the human lie detector with the podcast, calmly dissecting the madness with the patience of someone who has interviewed astronauts, monks, and conspiracy theorists alike, marveling at the absurdity without raising his voice. Megyn Kelly followed, heels clicking like a media force of nature, slicing through contradictions and exposing hypocrisies that mainstream networks had long ignored. Together, Rogan and Kelly demolished the illusion that these daytime queens were untouchable, shattering the protected bubble built on moral posturing and Clinton-era nostalgia. They treated falsehoods with precision, Rogan with sledgehammer logic, Kelly with a scalpel of sharp wit, leaving the hosts fumbling as if facing a kazoo in a fencing match. Emmy awards and polite applause couldn't shield them, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. became the latest target of their coordinated disdain. As the hosts attempted to frame opposing views as threats to democracy, Rogan calmly roasted them, exposing their lack of research and blind moral posturing. Their performances, crafted for applause rather than understanding, were shredded by clarity, truth, and irony, turning what was supposed to be a routine broadcast into an unforgettable masterclass in logic, observation, and precise media critique.
Melania Trump came out and said she's about as pro-choice as they come. And here was the reaction on The View.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Would you look? This is a network that still runs out fact checks to these women, like it's concerned about them staying factual. She hates Trump. She doesn't want to be near him. She doesn't want to be president again. She destroyed the Rose Garden, and she hates Christmas. That is what passes for news on a network. They did a presidential.
Rogan didn't hunt for cheap shots. He didn't need to. He delivered facts, timestamps, and assertions like a seasoned prosecutor, revealing contradictions, sound clips, and unintentional comedy with calm precision. His tone wasn't aggressive. It was the measured exasperation of a teacher catching an entire class plagiarizing from Wikipedia, highlighting their laziness with surprising grace while exposing their habit of regurgitating headlines and Twitter posts as if real research were forbidden. It was sharp sarcasm wrapped in sympathy, a methodical dismantling of intellectual pretense rather than an eruption of anger. Even as The View continued shouting into the void, Rogan quietly proved that truth doesn't require volume, it only requires accuracy. Just as his slow-motion takedown began to settle, Megyn Kelly struck with the precision of a tactical nuke, dissecting the broadcast piece by piece like a lawyer forced to evaluate a kindergarten essay. Armed with a metaphorical blowtorch and courtroom receipts to back up Rogan's points, she cut through every bit of pretense, exposing that nothing is acceptable unless it comes from their own studio-approved worldview. They mock political opponents with the flair of a comedy roast, yet erupt with indignation over claims as absurd as the impossibility of men becoming pregnant.
See what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said
on television.
You know, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has that. He has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
Megyn made it clear that, in her view, nothing counts as free speech unless it passes through the daytime television approval panel. Her sharpest strikes targeted Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar, and she didn't hold back. Joy, the show's walking eye roll, faced scrutiny for presenting herself as the high priestess of progressivism while spouting claims that would make any committed feminist cringe. Sunny, too, wasn't spared. Megyn expertly dismantled their carefully crafted lawyer-turned-daytime diva personas, tearing through a warehouse of falsehoods and inflated moral superiority. She exposed how the show treats dissent, especially women's dissent, as a betrayal, turning debate into a perilous exercise in emotional hostage-taking, where only Whoopi's half-minute-old comment feels safe. Yet the critique didn't stop at bruised egos. It became surgical when the truth emerged. While The View relies on sentimental half-takes, Rogan and Kelly arrived armed with research, quoting full transcripts, providing proper context, and reading beyond the headlines as if performing a subtle magic trick, revealing the depth of what the show consistently ignores.
I don't know. Hey, this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest fucking statement. Like you didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to what the wildlife biologist, and that's
Megyn made it clear that, in her view, nothing counts as free speech unless it passes through the daytime television approval panel. Her sharpest strikes targeted Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar, and she didn't hold back. Joy, the show's walking eye roll, faced scrutiny for presenting herself as the high priestess of progressivism while spouting claims that would make any committed feminist cringe. Sunny, too, wasn't spared. Megyn expertly dismantled their carefully crafted lawyer-turned-daytime diva personas, tearing through a warehouse of falsehoods and inflated moral superiority. She exposed how the show treats dissent, especially women's dissent, as a betrayal, turning debate into a perilous exercise in emotional hostage-taking where only Whoopi's half-minute-old comment feels safe. Yet the critique didn't stop at bruised egos. It became surgical when the truth emerged. While The View relies on sentimental half-takes, Rogan and Kelly arrived armed with research, quoting full transcripts, providing proper context, and reading beyond the headlines as if performing a subtle magic trick, revealing the depth of what the show consistently ignores. Remember when they confidently declared certain claims as unquestionable science, only for that science to quietly vanish months later, slipping out the back door? Or when political candidates were portrayed as existential threats to democracy based solely on Facebook memes and Whoopi's half-remembered dinner conversations? These weren't small mistakes. They were full-blown concerts of confident misinformation. Their greatest hits include declaring court cases decisive victories based on a defendant's haircut or the amount of time they allegedly misbehaved, while Joe Rogan dissected the same claims with such precision that the internet collectively groaned in disbelief. Unlike Rogan and Kelly, who never claim omniscience, The View acts as if it has been anointed by the Council of Truth and Accuracy. Rogan invites guests he disagrees with, often quoting full transcripts and providing context, while Megyn digs into actual case documents rather than relying on a relative's Instagram post. As receipts pile up, the tiny violins of outrage start to play, signaling the next victim parade. But this isn't censorship. It's daytime TV asserting dominance while whining about being ignored, like Jeff Bezos lamenting a lack of book sales. Joy Behar stumbles through tone-deaf responses, and Whoopi tries to offer profound insights that land somewhere between a fortune cookie and a child's clay sculpture. Meanwhile, America watches, popcorn in hand, as Rogan calmly fact-checks mid-kettlebell swing and Megyn slices through smugness with lawyer-level precision. Viewers are left wondering, has daytime TV officially jumped the shark? Or did it swallow it live on air? Because when a former TV anchor and a UFC commentator systematically dismantle your arguments, it's not just your credibility that looks dated, it's your entire personality.